finishing my unfinished thesis. I always try to finish everything which I create, but sometimes it doesn't work for some reasons. I thought that it can be a good idea to record this, to motivate myself to actually finish this drawings. So I checked all of my sketchbooks, and now I'm gonna show you on what I'm gonna work. So I chose 4 sketches for this video. You can already see one of them on the screen. Now you can see 3 other drawings, which I'm gonna finish in this video. I started this around 2 months ago, but I didn't have enough time that day to fully finish this page. That's why it's still unfinished. In the left corner you can see the reference photo on which I based this drawing. Every reference photo I use in this video is from Pinterest. Now I'm using fixative to protect the drawing. In the beginning, I didn't have in plans to create the background for this sketch, but when I finished, I thought that it looked boring, so I did the background. And I think that this was a really great decision, because I had a lot of fun creating this, and this reminded me why I love art, that I love the freedom of creating anything I want, sometimes just for fun. Also, this helped me understood that I didn't need to create everything just to improve my art skills. That sometimes spending time on a background can be a good idea. That maybe it will not help me grow, but it will make me feel satisfied and get me smile. That maybe it's a necessary part to never get bored and always feel the same love for art. And that's the final result. I think that this turned out really beautiful. And I hope you think the same. And now we are moving to the next sketch. The story of this is really similar to the last one, because I started this sketch one day and I didn't have time to finish this fully. That's why this sketch is in this video. I was really struggling with the proportions here. I was spending a lot of time trying to make it look similar to the reference. In the finished version, this looks better, but still a lot of work to do. In this case, I used a white gel pen for highlights, and I'm really satisfied with the results. I think it brings a lot of life and more layers to the drawing. I like this page, but if I could compare the reference photo with the page, with the sketch, I will not tell that this is the same person. They are similar, the pose is similar, the shadows are similar, but they aren't the same, and there's definitely a lot of mistakes on which I should work more in the future. So I hope I'm gonna improve this soon. And now it's time for my favorite part, the details. This every single hair beyond the shape of a hair, the moles on the face that make it look more real. And now it's time for fixative. And for this background, I wanted to create something that would look like a golden hour or the sun. Because in my opinion, this drawing fits really well on this type of background. And this is the final result. And this is the third unfinished drawing in this film. And I did this really long ago, and I didn't remember which reference I used. So I choose a new one, and I think it's really pretty. So I needed to change the base sketch because these two references were probably a little different and the pose were a little different, so it got me some problems. It wasn't that easy, but then I figured out how I need to do it, and then it was so much easier and more comfortable. And by the way, I think this reference is really magnetic, but also has some mystery. But it's at the same time is really classy, and it's completely different than two other reference photos. And I really like it, and I hope you think the same. In this drawing, I also used a white gel pen for the highlights on the shoes. And now it's the time for one of my favorite parts, not gonna lie. And I love doing backgrounds this way because this is really fast. They look great. And it's easy. So everything all at once. So what else I can want from life? What else? There is nothing. What? And a fun fact, my brush pen was really close to death in the end. You can see this. But we finished this, so we can honor my brush pen for this achievement. I thought that this could look great with a darker, messy background, but when I finished, I realized that maybe this is a little too dark. So I took a white color pencil and I tried to fix it. And to be honest, this turned out so much better than I expected. And that's the final result. I hope you like this that much as me, because I'm obsessed. And that's the last drawing in this video. Last, but not the worst. And a question is, why I didn't finish this page? And an answer is really easy. Because I just didn't have any great idea. But then I thought that maybe eyes. And here we are. So I chose some reference photos of eyes, and I wanted them to look more mystery, more cold, and maybe there were, and I thought that maybe they could have an eyeliner or like a darker makeup, because this will suit to the other part of the drawing. Drawing those eyes was actually really easy. They weren't anything too much complicated. That's why it was really satisfying, and I think I need to create more art like this. If I'm focusing on one part of the face, for example, maybe next time it will be nose or mouth, or even hands. I think it can be a good idea. But going back to the drawing, I really like the first and the third eyes. In my opinion, I did a really good job here, but I can't say the same thing about the eyes in the middle. They are missing something, but I can't tell what. Maybe a deeper look, something which will bring them to life, to look more magnetic. I have no idea, to be honest, but there is something which I couldn't find. And we are really close to the end of this video, but before this, I just want to say that I still have some unfinished drawings, so maybe I'm gonna create another part of this video in the future. But before this, that's the final result of this drawing. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you that you want to spend time with me, and I hope we see you soon. Bye!